Good day to all you rapscallion glorious bastards. The name is FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more WutheringWaves. And today I got a guide for you, a Jianxin guide. And this is my guide to a tank support that I use on my teams. So when I put Jianxin on my team, this is how I use her. This is how I build her. We'll go through the breakdown of everything about her, the reason why I do everything. This comes because there was a comment in one of my videos. I believe it was talking about how to make your supports 10 times better. Your sub DPSs and supports 10 times better. And someone asked, well, hey, I haven't really seen much of Jianxin. Could you make a video on her? So I said, why not? So this video is going to be a little bit different than my rest because we are going to edit this video. We are going to do some actual editing. We're not going to try to do this all in one take. So let me know also, guys, during the end of this video, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and all that good jazz. So take it easy and let's get started in the video. All right, so we're going to talk about Jianxin. Now, I'll probably pronounce her name completely wrong, and you guys can correct me in the comments below, but this is how I always pronounce her name, and this is just the way it's going to be. But my Jianxin, as you can see from the base stats and everything, and we'll even extend it out some, our HP, our attack, our defense has been affected. You'll see that crit rate has gone up a little bit. Crit damage is decent, almost at 200, with energy regen at 150. Basic and all this other stuff. You're going to see that nothing really is going on here except for a healing bonus at a 52.8%. Now, to put it like this, a good story is that she's also level 80, but to put a good story together in this is that I needed 3 teams, right? For tower diversity. And with my GN being one of the main characters that I have, there's a DPS. At that point in time with Jianxin that came in and with Chang Li, I needed another team to go on. I have these other 2 teams that's built that's also using additional resources that GN used to use. So this led me to be like, damn, I need an actual support. I need something that's going to work for GN. That's what Jianxin comes involved. And to showcase on a resident chain, we only got one copy additional on her. So we get, the Verdant Embrace branchlet right here, where after casting intro skill, Jianxin gets 100% chi from basic attacks for 10 seconds. Where I want to be at right now is I want to be at a summon 2. I actually want to be also at a summon 3. I think this is where she would really start to shine. And other than that, it would just be great to have all the way down. I'm just going to say it would be all the way great just to have it all the way down to C6, but the gotcha gods right now said, go fuck yourself, you only get a 1. So this build is for people who, you don't have your Jianxin build, you don't have her at a stat that you can vitally use. So let's go ahead and let's break down the build. Let's break down everything that I'm doing for her and go from there. All right, so breaking down a couple of different things, we do have the Marcato being the main weapon on her, which is a 4-star weapon. And the reason why we have this is for the energy regen of 47.3% right now. It's at a level 80. And it also helps restore 12 of the basic switching energy. And the effect can be triggered 1 time every 20 seconds. I opted out pretty much on every other type of gauntlet that we had. I was thinking crit rate. I was thinking attack, try to give her an attack boost. I even was thinking about doing defense because what we end up trying to do is we're trying to make a tank. But the idea is that we want actually to use her outro. And the reason for that is if we go into her skills real quick, and you'll see that this is not even fully built up. We just focus mainly on the middle section and then we balanced out everything at the bottom. But we want to focus right here on this outro skill, where the incoming resonator's alt damage is amplified by 38% for 14 seconds or until they are switched out. So for a character like GN, okay, who I have that is a summon 6, his alt, when momentum is stacked up to twice, his alt actually gets 120% increasement. That 38% it goes on top of that, to which allows it to where we are doing some good damage. Now, I have actually started rebuilding GN, so his damage is not quite there right now, but that's a totally different story for another day. We're going to go back to Jianxin. So I was thinking on my build, what can I do just to get her, you know, good enough just to throw in on the team and make her work? So that's where the echoes come in handy. Originally, I'm going to say it like this. Originally, she was level 60 when we started doing this. I just recently got her up to level 80 just because I wanted some, you know, base damage and base stats just to go up a little bit. But everything really comes from the echoes, and I don't care about substats on these on supports like this. I don't care for Jianxin whether it's tuned correctly. I don't care if my sub DPS is tuned correctly. The only echoes that I care about being tuned is on the DPS. Everyone else, if I get tuned, if I get, you know, a good tuned echo here or there, hey, that's great, awesome. That's less work. But for Jianxin, I was worried about one thing and one thing only, and that was just the main stats. And you'll see that we're doing a 4-4-1-1-1. And I already know that there's going to be somebody who's going to come in the comments, or somebody's going to message me that if they watch the video, going to be like,
why would you do that? You know, I'm going to be honest with you, that's not, you know, appropriate. That's not, you know, at all, sir. That's not efficient. You're wasting so much potential.
and I'm going to tell you, for what I'm trying to complete, that your potential is not something I'm going to waste my time when I need something to be done like this. I need something done fast, over, easy. I'm a lazy son of a bitch. So we went with the 4-4-1-1-1 route on the Moonlit Clouds. And then you're going to say, well, why you're doing the Moonlit Clouds and you're not doing Aerial, or you're not doing Rejuvenate Glow? The reason being is that I'm going to get the same amount of healing. To a certain degree, I'm going to lose a little bit of healing as well because I'm not doing Rejuvenation Glow. So I'm going to lose a little bit of healing. However, with Moonlit Clouds, because of the liberation damage that she's already doing, if we go take a look right here, on a 5 stack of Moonlit Clouds, upon using the Ultra skill, the increase of the attack on the next resonator is 22.5% for the next 15 seconds. So this is the reason why we're using the Moonlit Clouds on her, as well as we're trying to get that energy regen up. Because we want to be able to pop that alt. We want to make sure that we are consistently being productive enough to make sure that we're able to switch out our characters and make sure that we get Jian on the field as fast as possible to pop his alt. So we use the Bellborn as our main echo, because we want the shield to go on top of Jian. We want to pop the echo to help with the protection, to make sure that she's more tolerant to damage and she's less likely to get interrupted from an attack. So Bellborn is the first one, and what we're worried about is healing damage, healing bonus on it. Same thing, we went with the fucking goddamn KFC chickens. We made sure it was healing, and what was great is that it's got HP and also HP on it. That is another stat that I am looking for, if possible, because what we're trying to do is we're not trying to make her useful to do damage. We're not trying to make her too useful on healing. We're trying to make it to where she's on the field, like this right here. We went HP stat, defense, HP. This one didn't tune out the way I wanted it to, but like I said, I don't care about the main stats. This one right here, we haven't finished tuning this one out to level 25, so it's still level 10, but it's still there just for the purpose of, hey, it's giving me HP right now, and it was the only other Moonlit Cloud that I had at the time. So this one would be replaced future-wise with an HP, but for right now, we'll leave it at attack. The idea is that we want Jianxin to take a hit. We want to try to increase her defense as much as possible. We want to try to increase her health as much as possible. We want to make sure that she is a tank. because I am not sure if you would figure this out, but when you're level 90 and you're going to fight a holographic boss, you're going to fight enemies in the Tower of Adversity, and you're bringing a level 60 Jianxin and you don't dodge or you don't parry at the right time to avoid the damage, a lot of things becomes one hit and then they're gone. And then you got to revive them or you got to reset. So the way I looked at it is that with Jianxin, with a support, you're not doing damage. You're only there to do healing, shield, ult, and boost my ult. That's all I'm looking for. And that's the reason why we're going with this type of build. And I think it works out pretty damn well in GN. Now, when it comes to, you know, teams to incorporate this with, I would say, like, any character you have that you are looking at boosting the liberation damage the most, she would fit in that team. So if you don't have a GN, but you have Cal's pretty much, again, another character that everything turns into liberation damage. A good pick, she could work with him. Any character on here, even, I think even Encore, if I'm not mistaken, is all about liberation damage. Yeah. Fusion's considered as resident liberation damage. So anything that we can do to boost the liberation damage and make that liberation damage just go up, Jianxin would be the perfect fit on that team. So with that out the way, let's go take a look at a couple of different things with her on the field and, you know, give you a rough idea on how I use her. All right, that was a short little break now, wasn't it? So coming over here, we just moved over to the Firelands because we're going to go ahead and we're going to try our best against pretty much the Infernal Rider himself. It's a good subject test. I even changed out my team to more of an appropriate team that you would think that someone would have, with Mortifi and with that of GN. I like to start off in any boss fight or any bout if possible with Jianxin, so that way we can actually start building up meter now. And that is the complete goal here, is just to build a meter as fast as possible. We're going to use the bell. And what we're going to do here now is we're just going to build up the chi. We're just going to sit here. We're going to take the hits. Boom. We're going to pop our ult. Get that going. And then this is where we're going to summon in GN. Ta-da! And this is where now all of a sudden we have an increasement with the alt liberation damage and everything else. The entire goal is just this. It's just to make sure that we have a benefit that goes in. And then with, you know, someone like Morphe that's on the team, we could pop him in and then, well, it's too late now because he's dead. But we could also have him prepped and ready to go as well, to where after we pop our alt damage, we could technically swap really quickly to Mortifi, make him pop his outro, which will make all our heavy damage on GN afterwards be increased. So let's go ahead and really quickly, let's go to another boss real quick. Let's go do the Fergolian Monkey Bastard, because why the hell not? Let's get ourselves there a little bit faster. Let's switch to GN. All right. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the time to build up GN's meter just a little bit. I want to make sure that when we get to it, we have his ult going. So right now I'm not really doing any damage or anything, but that's fine. Because, I mean, we're going against arrow versus arrow, but I want to make sure that I have this meter built. So that way when I switch over, like so, we can just go in, boom, 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 and then we're going to see if we can pop this off. Oh, we just got grabbed. That's fine. That didn't actually do that much damage. But we're just going to go in. Da-da. Trying to build up that meter. This again. Let's hit our ult. Try this again. Build up that shield. All right, we're gonna pop GN. We're gonna pop his ult, and then we're gonna oh, too late. And we're gonna pop Mort, get him in, and then we're gonna pop GN right back in. Now GN now has both buffs. We had the original buff for our initial hit, and then we had the second buff from Mortifi that when we swapped out, just for a split second that we swapped out, boom. Just make sure that we're getting the increased heavy damage, because that is what GN's all based upon. We turn heavy damage and we turn everything into heavy damage afterwards. So I'm hoping that this gives a good idea of the reason why, like I stated, there is no real reason to optimize every single part of your team. If you're bored, hey, that's great, and everything else, that's good. But the reason why, like, I build GNG like I am right now is because I want to make sure I have a useful unit on the team. Is she built properly, like the guides would say, like the meta would say? No. But she's good enough just to provide the unique essential adaptations that I need. She's there to make sure that we're assisting GN with the ult. She's making sure we're assisting GN with a shield. She's making sure we're even healing GN for over 2,000 and something change every 6 seconds for the next 30 seconds. Because we do have the healing buff. So we're using her in conjunction as is basically a complement to everything of GN. And then if you, like I said, you have a team where you have Mortifi in here, because of GN, this really works really well for him. Popping her first, getting her outro skill, popping her first, getting GN on the field with 2 stacks of momentum, pop his ult, then swap to Mort, and then make him pop his outro, and then go back, making sure that you got to make sure now that with Mort, you're already basically right there, that you can, next hit is going to guarantee you can be able to do an outro skill. Do that, you swap right back to GN. You're going to get the first initial buff because of Jianxin, and you're going to get the second buff of the heavy attack boost that you need for the second party ult from Mort. And it makes it so well. This is how I pretty much went through tower adversity. So with all that, we're going to go into closing arguments now. So yeah, I hope that this guide does help out anyone out there that is trying to figure out what I'm talking about in first regards about building pretty much a tank support. Why I'm doing the Moonlit Clouds, why the build is the way it is. It's because there is, I'll put it like this, there is a lot of resource grinding that is necessary for characters, and there's little resources that's available. A lot of these characters are all pretty much 100% very resource heavy. And the idea is that when you're working on a team, you're working on whatever character, you need to make sure that you're putting the resources that you need in the right places. So in this case scenario, the way I work my teams, the way I work everything is that my DPS is the ones that I truly focus all my attention on. They are my damage dealers. They're the ones that's going to come in and that's going to do everything under the sun to make sure that boss, that enemy is dead within a couple of seconds to under a few minutes. Characters like Jianxin, Mortifi, Shanhua, Baishi, characters that are just there to help support their complements. That is what they're there for. It's not to say that future-wise you shouldn't build them up properly and get them to the point to where they're really good. But in a resource-intensive game such as WutheringWaves, sometimes it's best just to go ahead and just look at what you got and see where you can be at in the next 5 minutes versus the next 5 months. I hate to put it that way, because you want to complete tower adversity. You want to beat the holographic bosses. You want to do other things. You don't want to be just sitting there on your ass and just, slowly building your characters up and building each part of your team and balancing them out to make sure they all work. Where in just a general fashion, like you've seen, you can amp up your damage, you can amp up everything, and you can do it relatively fast and for little cost. So that is the best advice I can give in this game. Don't look at this game as that, oh, I got to build every character on my team. I got to do all this. No. Like I said, I'm a guy that was very impatient, very fucking lazy, and I just said, hey, what's the best fucking echo set I could throw on her that's going to help benefit my DPS? Holy shit, Moonlit Clouds. Grab it, give it, throw it on her. Done. Let's go. That was it. It's very simple, very easy, and like I'm gonna say, a lot of people, from my understanding, you know, who are new to the game and everything else, they get a little overwhelmed with the bosses. They get a little overwhelmed here and there. Just take your time in some regards, but I'm going to tell you right now, the game, once you figure out things like this of where you can cheat and you can save yourself some time, those things right there help tremendously and saves you the headaches and the hassles. So if you're looking at, you know, trying to get as efficient as possible and build up your characters, build up your teams, and go ahead and compete in tower adversity a lot better. Go compete in, you know, the holographic bosses, get them the next difficulty down. Take a look at a simple solution like this. Look at what the character does, how you want to operate with the character, and if it's a sub or as a support, look at the best way and the fastest way to get them to be used on your team at this second. Like I stated in the beginning, and I'll end it like this. Jianxin was at level 60 when we first did the tower adversities with Jian. All I needed her was to take a hit. What did we do? We put Moonlit Clouds, Echoes, and we made sure we buffed her HP, and we tried doing her defense and everything else a little bit here and more. Actually, she had a split build because I didn't have all the Echoes for Moonlit. We actually did Rejuvenation and Moonlit, just enough to go ahead and pop the healing and to make sure she had enough HP and defense just to plow on through, and it worked. Now we are changing it to where it's only Moonlit, so that way we can get the additional 5 echo boost to make sure that Jian's ult is going to get an additional 38%, you know, hit, and then boom, there you go. Something that's very easy, very fast, and like I said, it's just recently we started actually building her up the right way, you know, leveling her up to level 70, then 80, and I'm looking at getting her to level 90 because you know what? She's a great asset to the team. I love playing as her, and I really want to get another goddamn dupe on her so that way we can make her more useful. So if you like this type of guides and everything else, let me know down in the comments below. If you didn't like it, criticize it down below. Like I said, this is going to be more of an edited scenario to where I'm going to piece this together, render it, and push it out on instead of trying to do everything in one take. And I'd like to see if you guys like this format. If you guys like this format, I'll continue doing this format for future videos. Before I let you guys go though, we will pop this on here, which is our channel members. So from letting you guys know, we do have people who do subscribe to the channel and do support the channel as sponsors. They pay anywhere between 99 cents to $1.99 for whatever reasons, from MTG Beats, Atomic, Rob, Godlike, Klepto, Andrew, Beast. These are guys that I know, I believe, probably forgot to turn off their subscriptions, their sponsorships. So hopefully maybe this might be a little bit of a warning if you catch the video. Hey, you're still paying me, guys, and you might want to, you know, disable that. But by all means, guys, I do appreciate the support for everything you guys do, all that good jazz. You guys make this worthwhile at the end of the day to make these videos. Now, I hope that you guys have a good night, good day, good wherever you're at. Hope this guide does help in some way, shape, form. If there's anything that I missed that you need any kind of questions or information, or I need to redo this video again in the future, let me know. But until next time, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.